All right, so we'll actually get something going here.
Thank you guys. Don't mean to
Andrew,
be a party
how are
pooper.
you?
I'm doing great. I missed all you last, or let me, sorry, Tina, missed y'all
Oh,
last,
y'all.
all y'all
You have to say
last.
A at the end of it.
Tina's pure Southern. Doing great. Good to see everybody. But we are going to talk some wins. We're going to talk some new stuff coming out of the Kaseya or the DattoCon event. Share out my screen here, starting off with Chip. A lot going on in your world, Chip. You were pretty busy last week. As everything went on, did you note any like aha wins, whether they were at DattoCon or maybe something that occurred in the SOC or you know anything of that nature?
Let's see. Well, so the first win of this week is DattoCon's over, and my schedule is now like half of the command that I needed before DattoCon. So that was a
Okay,
win.
that is a win.
I thought the energy at DattoCon was great. The partners, the company, there's definitely a feeling of a new direction, and I think people are seeing that. Um, so I'm really glad that, our keynotes address that and our product changes address that, our pricing changes address that. I mean, we're like making a lot of moves here to make it really pursue the vision of making Kaseya the absolute most MSP friendly company there is. So, and we got some really good feedback about that, so I felt good about it. Personally, survived my own keynote without any embarrassment, so that's always a good thing when you have to stand up there and do a dog and pony show.
You nailed it. It was awesome.
Appreciate that, Tina. So yeah, Benjamin, do you have any specific security wins of the week? I mean, you were also at DattoCon, but I'm sure you were paying attention to stuff going on in our background. And before Ben kicks in, to do DattoCon, the presentation, for anybody that was there, this will be a repeat, but um, I had to do a little research on where we stand this year in terms of active remediations of compromises, and I was blown away at the number um, between SaaS Alerts and DattoEDR together, which those two products now work together in tandem. I don't know how many of you realize that will address a security compromise from the device layer all the way up to the cloud. But so far in 2025, as of the past week, we've remediated 260,000 active compromises. That's just a big number, and I'm just very proud of our whole organization, the SaaS Alert side in particular, of how far we've come with the product, and just the scope with which it's actively preventing financial and data loss, embarrassment for our customers. So that's my win of the week, Andrew.
Good stuff. And we'll address some of those other things that you brought up when we go over the announcements area, Chip. But Tina, you mentioned you have a win.
I have a couple wins,
Let's
and I
go.
was in bed for some of these wins, so I don't have specific details, but I'm on managed SaaS alerts now, which is amazing. And I had SaaS alerts disable an account for the first time. And I was in bed yesterday. I sent the text messages to Kale. The emails obviously poured in as well. And one of our business owners was on his boat and clicked on a DocuSign and signed in and
It was an Eric,
whatever he
wasn't
did.
it? Is Eric Monroe
No,
one of your partners there? I didn't,
I trust
because that's
Eric.
the
Wasn't
only
Eric.
MSP owner that's typically on a boat that I know of.
He had a nice haircut like Eric, but it wasn't Eric. Um, and I logged in right away. Kale logged in right away, but the account was already disabled. So how awesome is that? Thank you, SIM managed SaaS alerts for that one.
That's
And
awesome.
I have another one, but I can't remember it right now. So go to somebody else.
All right. Well, if you're going to be bossy like that, I will, Tina.
Hey, Tina, before we move off of that, how did your customer react to discovering that
Oh,
your monitoring platform automatically did this for them and protected them?
I know what it was. Let me write it down before I forget. I already forgot.
She's got
Uh,
COVID on the brain, it sounds like.
I am
Mhm.
so unwell. About our protection. Well, they expect that from us. That's what we promise. So, I can't say that they were surprised or shocked. I just had never seen it in action yet. Usually we're in there faster than Rocket Cyber. So mostly I was delighted. Client as a
Client was like, yeah, whatever.
was expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't, it was a text message. I'm like, can you text this guy and ask him what the heck he did? And he's disabled and blah, blah, blah. Another super interesting situation. Yesterday, I had a few missed calls. I don't answer unknown calls because, as you know, we're not taking clients. And if we don't know your number, we don't answer. And then a follow-up text message, a really aggressive text message from, I guess, the one partner owner of a company that we take care of their SaaS monitoring for. No managed devices, no servers, anything like that, just Office 365 tenant and identities. And he was asking what security that we had in place. And I guess they had an incident. They have a couple IT companies working for them, I guess. Another IT company takes care of their endpoints and endpoint security, and another tenant. So they have a couple different domains and emails that they send from. And I guess they had some sort of email compromise and some sort of bank compromise. It sounds like an old school one, like where you would deposit a big check and the bank allows you to take a certain portion of that before it actually verifies that the check is bounced. You know, that situation where you can pull some money out and then they realize it bounced and then they try and get it back. So it didn't sound like a compromise on our end, but I jumped on a call with this guy and I haven't dealt with somebody speaking to me this way in many years. Maybe two people in my 25 years in IT have spoken to me this way. He was really aggressive and wouldn't tell me what had happened, no details whatsoever. Wanted me to check all the accounts for compromise, and if there's any accounts that are compromised, to let him know. And I said, well, we monitor for this. You know, I would know about it if there was any abnormal activity, and I was fairly confident in this as well. You want me to go through 25 accounts and look for what? Well, if you don't want to help me, I'll find somebody else that will. I said, well, can you tell me a little bit about what happened? You know, like why do you suspect that there was a compromise? I need some details so I can kind of narrow in, like the telemetry is vast. Let me know what I'm looking for. Was there a spoofing email? Does it look like somebody sent an email from the domain? Was there some kind of interception of funds? Like what happened? He wouldn't tell me any details, was super aggressive, just kept telling me that he was going to call somebody else if I wouldn't help him. So I hung up with him, called the partner that I know, and he gave me the details. And he said that it sounded like there was no sign of compromise in our tenant whatsoever, which is what I suspected because of the monitoring we have in place. The only reason I had that confidence is because of the products I have in place. SaaS Alerts. Thank you, boys. So huge shout out to you guys on that one. And the information that I was able to provide him, I sent a follow-up email outlining all the security practices that we have in place, the licensing, the license compliance, the conditional access policies, the security features that we use, just a summary of all the things that we do to keep the tenant secure and monitor. And sounds like the other IT company does none of that. And that's the tenant that was compromised and caused the issue. And this gentleman was just very upset, probably embarrassed, a little angry, and just taking that out on me. So thank you, SaaS Alerts, another win for huge confidence on our side of knowing that we're looking after this and we're watching out for it. And we have these calls so I can confidently talk about the things that we're doing and the impact that they have.
And now you get the other tenant.
If they ask, the answer is no, as you know, because we are not taking your clients. We are trying to get rid of them.
You know, you should be taking all these inquiries that you get for people that want your kind of monitoring and services that you won't give them and distribute them among our friends.
Send them to Enrique.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I do pass them to another MSP, but old colleagues of mine. But yeah, maybe I'll send it to you guys.
You need new friends to know.
You know, what comes up for me when I listen to the story is because of Andrew, Chip, and SaaS Alerts, and Benjamin, and Anthony, and all those people. this is all top of mind, and we are on the trends of cybersecurity weaknesses, and we are able to speak to them very casually now because we have this weekly call. And so that's kudos back to both of Chip and Andrew.
Very,
really.
very true. And it's been a long time since I came into this call and just said, thank you guys for that. You're the reason I'm here. You're the reason I was at DattoCon. You're the reason I was at Write a Boom this year. I used to make fun of people that went to those things, and I went to 3 in 1 year just to you guys. Thank you. Thank you to the SaaS Alerts community.
What I like out of the call was your posture. You know, your like just how your demeanor. It sounds like you were inquisitive, even though he was, you know, very aggressive, and you know, you didn't get ruffled. Like, to me, that's what is an important part of this call, that, you know, in the face of an incident, you stay very calm. That's the hallmark of somebody that can run good incident response, by the way.
I'm confident in what we're doing. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys. Yeah.
Good job. Okay, who else has got some stuff? As always, like Chip says, it doesn't have to be
We had a
mind.
rocket cyber. Oh, go for it.
Yeah, go
okay.
Sam.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sam.
Last week, while everyone was gone, I actually had to hop off of the office hours because one of our more limited customers, you know, just for a couple of things, basically asked us to jump in and hop on a call and walk through with them because they had a business email compromise, and he wanted to know basically, hey, what things should I go look for? Where did this possibly come from? Like what had, you know, where was probably where they got in and stuff. So, you know, I walked through like Entra logs and all of that stuff with him. And basically it was like, it looks like this was probably like a token theft, or somebody, you know, clicked a link in an email sort of thing, you know, looked like some of the standard stuff. But he was so appreciative of the help that we were willing to hop on the call and give him. I actually mentioned, hey, we have a product in our stack called SaaS Alerts that, you know, helps watch for, detect, and even automatically stop some of these things in real time. And basically 2 days later, I have a ticket land in my queue saying, hey, onboard this customer to SaaS Alerts. So
Awesome.
and he's already started getting some of the alerts and things and looking at the data, and so far seems pretty impressed.
Is it co-managed, Sam, the way you're describing it?
Well, so we have some customers that have like just a couple of services with us, you know, maybe not full managed or co-managed. And he was one of the ones that, you know, we were really just doing like firewall stuff for. But, you know, this, just knowing that he could call us and that we'd be willing to hop on a call and help him with those things, he has started exploring some more of our security stack.
Okay. So it's an IT, is it an IT person that you're working with?
Yeah.
Okay. So got it.
But
Okay.
but that was a win, you know.
That's a huge win, Sam. Whenever you're able to educate someone else, take them through details of how painful it is to deal with Entra all alone, and show them what's going on, that, you know, passing on the knowledge is really why we're all here. And it sounds like you did that really effectively.
Great job, Sam. Others?
Can I tell you the other line that this guy said to me? I have to write these things down because when I have migraine pills in me, I have no brain. It gets sucked out of my body. But he said to me, if it was so-and-so, the other IT company, I would just tell them to go look for compromise, and they would just log in and they would see that the account was compromised and they would deal with it. And I'm like, what would they see? And he said, like, forwarding rules and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, we monitor for those, so we would know about those already. It was pretty fun conversation.
Sounds like a blast. All right. If you want, we can practice it again, Tina. I'll call you shortly and do my best Sam Kennison on you.
Wait till her medicine wears off, so she's at full 100%.
There you
Yes,
go.
thank you, Andy.
All right.
Can you record this so we
else?
can all hear it too,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah, record it.
That's right.
I'll be
And
like, what was
it
I
could be part
talking
of your
about?
theme at Write a Boom, right? How to deal with those customers that think they know what they're doing.
You know, Andrew, it's a different kind of tabletop exercise you're describing. Like it's one we should put our own teams through. How do you deal with somebody screaming at you?
We actually Empath is doing something pretty similar to that as one of the pre-event workshops. It's called Left a Boom, Right of Mind, like dealing with highly emotional.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a huge part. Look, who's in your incident response team, the who is as important as the what. Because the people, when you talk to really seasoned incident response folks, like I was just with Clark Harshbarger, the former director of incident response in CrowdStrike. And we were talking a lot about that. Like, a lot of times you don't want certain people, like, in smaller businesses, a lot of times you don't want the owner involved as running the incident because they're too emotional. I mean, look at the scenario Tina just went through. Like that, you don't want that person running your IR. And I mean, they're just dealing with emotion. So yeah, I think it's critical. So all right. Let's move on to Miss Amanda.
Okay, just a quick announcement. We will be turning off the Nolt board for those of you who have been accessing it and posting any future enhancement requests on that board. We will be moving over to the Kaseya Ideas portal. This has been up for SaaS Alerts for a little while, but so we're gonna, instead of trying to manage two different places, we're gonna move everything over to the Ideas portal. I'm gonna put the link in the chat to the Ideas portal so that everybody has it, but we will also be having the link inside of the application as well, so you'll always be able to reference it.
Okay, Amanda.
So
Does
Note
everybody-
will be shut down as of November 1st.
And so Adam, you're saying if you click the question mark, can you kind of
Yeah, so in our platform on the bottom left, there's a help/question button. And when you click that, you're going to get a menu flyout. And from there, you can access the ideas portal. You have to be an MSP admin in our platform to be able to get access to that. But if you're an MSP admin, you have access to that. And I believe you have to authenticate with K1 or Datto to get into the ideas portal. But then that will be where we look at everything going forward. And we will migrate the data from Note to the ideas portal as soon as we can.
Only open items. Archived items and everything like that, we will keep a record of, but we're only going to migrate open items.
So Adam, just while we have you, it's always so good to hear you. I know you kind of present, few and far, like not as often, but anything you're cooking up these days that you're working on, you don't have to say this is what I'm, where I am or whatever, but like, is there,
Yeah. So
what's in your purview these days?
okay, well, I got my list right here. So merging advanced suppression with power filters is top of mind, as is getting Microsoft devices into Unify and mobile support also into Unify. We have the big fun one. So my next project is AI related. It'll be the ability to interrogate our event data using an agent kind of chatbot type of thing. So being able to say, is it normal that Adam logged in from Kentucky this week? That type of activity is coming. Unify for VSA 10 devices coming very soon. Working on a thing called the Universal Error Handler, which will allow us to intercept errors from all the different products that we receive errors from and handle them very, very intelligently versus hard coding in responses to the errors going forward. A couple internal tools that are not really super exciting to talk about. And I feel like there's one. Oh, and designing the architecture right now for supporting webhooks in the future, so that folks can send to us rather than us pulling all the time. So a lot on my plate, and I've basically been head down, not presenting a lot on these calls. I appreciate you noticing, Andrew, mainly because I've been head down on getting things done, and unfortunately not getting them all done fast enough. So
Yeah, no, it wasn't criticism. You're really articulate when you are working on stuff and tell.
Oh, you froze, Andrew.
I gave him a
Austin,
stroke.
in mid compliment.
Yeah, for a guy that lives on words of
So
affirmation, I
I know
really
you
needed the
present
final
for
part of
the,
that
like,
sentence.
the things you bring to the table.
You froze, Andrew, for a moment.
Oh, I
Yeah,
did.
can you just give me the words of affirmation again? Just start from the very beginning, Andrew. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, I just said, when you do present, it's really, articulate and well, everybody is kind of really is appreciative of what you do and work on. I was curious is there any stuff coming like on the Intune side? Does that potentially play in some of whether it's mobility or,
So my portion of that will be that Intune registered devices or Intune managed devices will show up inside our alert data as well as our Unify module. As far as managing Intune goes, that's more Amanda's side of the house, and I'm fairly certain you're well underway in that already, Amanda, right? And have some actions already in place.
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So I know that Jason, her lead dev on the Fortify side, has been actively implementing Intune actions.
Okay. Andy.
I was listening, and maybe this was talked about at Datto, but with the ability to use AI against the data set, with integration with other products like EDR, and the internal structures that are being built here, being able to query all of our device logic that's coming back to us and build telemetry on that would be very helpful. And it seems like SaaS Alerts has an interface that is more easily used. Any indication on what's happening there, Chip?
Yes, there's a lot happening there. And in your what you just described was actually originally part of the keynote that I gave, where we talked about SaaS Alerts becoming the central repository for all things security within Kaseya. And we took it out because my longer term vision actually is that it's not just that SaaS Alerts is a long-term repository, there is one unified long-term repository for all security incidents across all products. And whether or not SaaS Alerts continues to be the primary method of providing a UI, a GUI for that, or we evolve into something.
Or APIs.
Yeah, well, APIs are behind us. We're building MCP servers for everything.
Fair enough. I use the right terms.
Yep. So there's a lot of change underway. I mean, you're not going to see it instantaneously. The first place you'll start seeing it in the product is exactly what Adam described. Early first quarter or mid first quarter, there'll be a very much ChatGPT-like or Grok-like interface that's specifically trained on security data that we're familiar with, that you can interrogate in a natural language way and get responses back, which really helps from the standpoint of how you communicate to customers, or your techs communicate to customers and get answers to things.
Would Ben be someone who would be showing us how to use that ChatGPT and be able to phrase the questions and do an analysis step by step properly?
Actually, Ben is going to be the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. There's really no AI. It's just Ben sitting there responding to everyone's questions. No, Ben,
That's what I was
absolutely.
about to ask. Is it just Ben in a box?
Yeah,
Wait.
I'm sure that, look, knowing Ben, no one's even gonna have to ask him to make a video. Like, he's gonna certainly do that. But we'll have plenty of examples of how to construct queries. For any of you that are really following what goes on in the large language model space, there's a different tutorial at every day for how to query to get better information. And, we'll certainly be producing that kind of detail and demonstration for
I'm
folks.
thinking about how it can create reports that it would automatically send out based on its data that it finds. I think that there's some really neat things there that could be packaged up. Andrew's waiting to step in, so I'm going to stop.
Well, I don't know if I would do that because it's always about garbage in, garbage out with LLM. So you could be, that's just to make a comment on automatic.
I'm thinking about the data set that we're working against, however, for our clients.
Yeah. For those of you who are Kaseya customers and other things, if you were at DattoCon, K1 already will release an interface for that kind of instantaneous report builder specifically for QBRs. Again, early in Q1, you're going to see that basically query-driven QBR builder, so that you can create a fully logoed custom QBR for any customer and send it out with all their data. So there's a lot going on, more than just SaaS Alerts, but there's a lot going on inside Kaseya in general. But we are definitely pushing very hard in our little grouping that, we consider SaaS Alerts, KSIM, and Rocket Cyber. That's now the SaaS Alerts umbrella. And there's a lot going on the AI side there.
Is this being done for any other product verticals within Kaseya? Because this, I think, is incredibly valuable for the partner. And having that kind of cadence would be really helpful for us in other areas.
Yeah, you'll see this evolve into every product category. What I think of as the 4 pillars inside of what Kaseya does. You'll see it evolve everywhere.
Great. Thanks.
Chip, before we go to Sujit, I do have a naming convention. Instead of we do Agentic Ben, why don't we just do Begentic?
Oh, Ben Gentic?
Begentic. And that's the new bot, so you could ask, Ben whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So
has anyone asked why Ben is sitting in front of that background?
It's I
assume we don't want to see a Star Trek portrait on the wall any longer.
Why wouldn't you want to see?
I mean,
it's at the whole point. You see someplace else now?
That's actually a deep fake Ben. Ben's
I was going to say,
well.
yeah, we need NetArcs to figure that out, huh, Chip?
Trust me, I've got the answers. By the way, do this to your SaaS Alerts, right?
Is Sujit still here? He had his hand up.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. No,
I was just trying to understand, it sounds like with some of the AI going into SaaS Alerts, I mean, something that I would like to see, because it's kind of in the original premise that we were sold the SaaS Alerts on is, I guess with all the data kind of getting ingested, right? Like we still deal a lot with internal email forwarding. Like someone creates an email forwarding rule, it's just going to a folder in their inbox. It's clearly harmless, things like that, or geo tracking where someone signs in from another country, but if you actually follow their activity, like that travel is expected and reasonable. They've completed MFA, just too many alerts. I'd like to see kind of more intelligent feedback from the platform of kind of recognizing when these alerts are more actionable, maybe when they tie into something more rather than it's just saying, well, someone's forwarding or someone's signing in from here or there. Whereas, it's kind of what Rocket Cyber already does. I'd like to see the next level with SaaS Alerts on that. So I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, it's a very good observation, Sajip, and I think there's a question in there like, what are you guys doing? So I'd like to address both actually. For some of the things that you mentioned, partners are very effectively creating their own customized rules that limit the noise further. So you don't get bothered if it's a single mailbox rule that's been created and there's no other indicators that that's a compromise. So you can really structure those any way you want. What Adam has talked about on a couple of our calls in terms of bringing power filters together with other filtering tools, you can really isolate down the sort of noisy things that you want around travel. But those are all rules based and they're algorithmic rather than AI driven. So we are definitely pressing forward on effectively building a personality dossier, if you will, of how every user functions in a regular manner, and to be able to make intelligent decisions kind of with where your credit card company does, right? If you spontaneously, pop up from Chicago to Cancun in less time than it would take to fly there with your credit card, it's going to get flagged. And we're definitely moving in that direction as well. There are limits to the reliability of that. That's why, Microsoft themselves will send a risky behavior alert, but they won't do anything on it. They won't take any actions on it. They actually don't even allow you to take any actions on it. They just send it as an item. And it's because when you're talking about machine learning models and now LLM style AIs, you can't get as high a probability of an accurate hit. So you have to combine both. And that's the direction that we're heading, to build our own style of a Microsoft fuzzy logic risky detection, and then use that to enhance the existing algorithmic approach that is very, very targeted and focused. Like when you build a respond rule or an IOC correctly and it triggers, you have a 95% plus probability that that is not a false positive, and letting the system take action automatically is the right thing to do. And it's very hard to get to that level of confidence purely with machine learning. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, 1000%.
So thanks for that question. It's a good one, and we don't talk about it too much, but it is important to point out the distinctions between the approaches.
And actually, one add-on thing really quick. I apologize. I had hopped on late. I saw something on the board there about Inky. Has that been discussed already?
Not yet.
It has not.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Not yet.
Wait, is that in the agenda, Andrew?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's under.
I know last week I couldn't
all
get any
things.
answers because they were still trying to be trained up on it. That's how fresh this Inky deal was. The Inky was still trying.
You mean the AMs, talking to your AM, you couldn't get anything?
No, I met to your subject matter expert, and he said, I'm meeting tomorrow to get answers, because I was asking lots of questions that they weren't ready to answer yet. But January 1 is when things go live. At least that's how I understand it.
Yes, there's lots of devil in the details, but we'll get there when Andrew takes us there on our agenda.
Okay.
How's
I
that?
was disappointed. I thought it was Twinkie. I mean, I was like that, Twinkies, that's something, it's pretty good, Chip. And maybe you guys were getting into the snack business, but
yeah, we're going to buy Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay could buy 10 Kaseyas and not even feel like a hit to their, bottom line.
That's true. That's true.
Wait till they get sued, though.
Well played. Look at Tina. Well played. Okay. And then you have Amanda, a new person on your team that was going to talk about KSIM, correct?
Right. Beyond's on the call. Beyond's part of the product team. Adam posted in the chat, her first official product feature was the tie-in to the Ideas portal. So Beyond's been working with us for a little while now, and so she has the announcement for the product council.
Yeah,
where's Beyond?
I'll add to that. She's been doing great, and this is her first public appearance, so everybody has to treat her with the same love that we get.
Come on, Beyond.
Same love and respect and reverence that all of us get, Adam.
I know Beyond, and she got as many hugs as everybody else.
And Beyond, are you sick or is this a Tina thing?
I don't see Beyond on here.
I don't either.
See her join.
That would be a bummer. Okay, well, I guess I'll do the announcement.
Okay, go, Adam. Do you want me to give you some positive affirmations first?
Yeah. If you would, can you pump me up? Like, can you give me like a song?
And now, with one of the most important announcements.
Tell him he has a nice haircut. You have a nice haircut, Adam.
Thank you. Yeah, I shaved today for this call. All right. So what are we announcing? Okay, that's what it is. So we realized that the folks that are on the KSIM early adopters list, of which there's about 400 to 500 partners that we let sneak in ahead of time, it is time for us to get feedback from you all, and we want to do it in a very efficient way. And so we had dreamt up the idea that we basically replicate the OG early 3 years ago SaaS Alerts SASE call, but for KSIM early adopters. So the goal is once a week, you pop in, you tell us the good, the bad, the ugly, and all the product managers that are responsible for KSIM are on that call. And so I'm going to shoot a URL here into the chat window in a second. And I will, that'll be a sign up form. And it basically just lets us know that you're interested. And it's got a place where you can just kind of put some times and dates in that sheet. And then we're going to do our best to pick a time on the week that works for everyone. Although we know that we can't please everyone. So I'm just going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time if we manage to pick a date that doesn't work for your specific request. So
Adam, I thought you were aiming for Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock.
Maybe European time, maybe. But yeah, I love doing Friday 5 p.m. calls, Chip. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Enrique's got his hand up, I think.
Yeah, quick question. So we get billed for KSIM, but we've never seen it.
Well, maybe you should log in and try that out. So that's, perfect feedback for the call that you're going to join. I believe Ben has the magic go button for that. Maybe Ben, you didn't grease Ben's palms like the other folks did.
Enrique,
well, I tried to, but he didn't take pesos.
Enrique, this is the whole bringing all the billing together, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry. We'll just make everything coterminous.
They wanted to make me feel
up.
right at home. Thanks,
Yeah.
Chip.
Minimal billing. You're all good.
All right, I'm gonna drop that link here in a minute.
Has anyone noticed that Enrique is starting to look like Charlie Sheen?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's just an observation.
Yeah. Well, I that and like a younger Julio Iglesias, I can't tell.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna throw this link in there now. So if you are a KSIM partner, not a future, I want to be someday, but like an actual, if you're paying for it, then you should probably get on that form there. Fill us out. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll pick a day and it'll become a normal call that, frankly, I don't think will ever be as good as the one that Andrew moderates here, but we're gonna try.
Adam, or if we want, just a suggestion, why don't we take 10-15 minutes of this and build the
It'd be in the weeds. Yeah, I appreciate that, but I think it's a different, it's going to be a different agenda completely.
Okay. Trying to build this one up, but we thought that, once the whole merger, we'd get a lot more, some days we have a lot of people, but, I'll have to see what Magic Jim can do. We were supposed to get announced and get wide and far, but I think we're still this little secret.
We were pushing this at DattoCon. Is there anybody new on the call that that joined today as a result of becoming aware that there even was a SASE call? I got a couple of pings on this.
Bullying you. Could have been Tina bullying you to come because I did a lot of that.
I'm looking through the list.
I am too.
Just raise your hand.
No one's volunteering.
Guys. Raise your hand if you're new for the first time. Yeah. There's a bonus for you.
Who's this guy, Gary Harlan? I've never seen him.
So my name's Hoey. I'm new. We actually just became a SaaS Alerts customer, and in fact, we did a demo of the KSIM and have put in an order for it, but we haven't gotten it yet. So
we'll bill you. Don't worry about it, Hoey.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Hoey, if you're brand new, then the folks that are in the alpha program, the trial program, that's closed, but it will be released for GA in Q1. So that's rapidly coming. But thanks for joining. Glad to have you here.
I thought that was happening at Connect.
Well,
which would be Q2.
I
oh
was
yeah, it
told
is.
Q2, by the way, not
Yeah,
Q1.
you guys are right. You
Okay,
guys are
good. I was
absolutely
like,
right.
They said sign up before the 31st, or you're not I mean, before the 30th, or you're not getting it. And I went,
No,
well, no.
you're absolutely right. Howie, where are you from?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Howie, how did you find out about the SASE call?
I'm actually, so my systems engineer was the one that I think he was on it last week, and he
Okay.
gave me the link for it. Yeah, we've kind of drank the Kool-Aid. I think we got most of the Kaseya products now.
It's called
and
IT
we're
Complete, by the way.
yeah. We're rolling it out, and so this is kind of just a way for us to kind of discover more about the products. I'm a compliance person. So I run IT for a customer service call center, a BPO, with a lot of our operations actually in the country of Belize, and so we're PCI, HIPAA, and SOC 2 compliant. So we're actually we've got all the rapid fire tools too. And anyway, just trying to discover how to best use these tools and be able to use them to maintain our compliance. So
Yeah, with that focus,
about the whole.
I would really dive into Fortify. I mean, it sounds like you're new to the product. I would dive deeply into the Fortify module because that's going to allow you to set, policies, which is what you're all about. It sounds like in terms of your compliance side, really, really quickly against all of your tenants. Like literally, will save you if you're managing 100 tenants, will save you 1,000 hours a year.
yeah. I think, but isn't it just for Microsoft right now? Because
it is.
We have a large Google workspace.
It is just for Microsoft, but stay tuned. We have a very rapidly approaching flip to that.
Okay.
That it's going to expand way beyond Microsoft, way beyond Microsoft and Google.
Very
Chip,
cool.
you keep dropping these things, and it's exciting. Do we have to wait till Q2 though? That's the question.
Andy, you know the details on that one, so don't. You're the last guy here that should be teasing everybody.
All right, sorry.
All right, Chip, you ready to tee things up a little bit for those that weren't at DattoCon?
Sure.
So it's big announcements, and let me let you take it over. Someone already asked about Inky, but I'm sure there are other things that if Jim was here and on stage, he would be talking about, right?
Yeah. So I think the two big ones are the announcement around CMQ. We had made the commitment back in April at Connect to get rid of high watermark in all of Kaseya over the course of about 24 months. And, we are going to deliver on that. I'll answer that as part of the answer here, Andy, as part of a transition for the three highest volume products inside Kaseya, which are our Datto RMM, Datto SaaS Protection, and Autotask. They will all be dropping HWM, high watermark pricing policies on December 1st, as of the December 1st billing. So for anyone who's, these acronyms don't mean anything to you yet. So high watermark was a practice that Kaseya and some other companies use, that when you need to expand licensing, let's say, you pick up a new tenant and maybe you have them on a 6-month trial, but in the old Kaseya world, you would need to commit to, let's say it's 100 new users, you would have to buy 100 new endpoints of Datto RMM or 100 new SaaS P licenses. And they would be co-termed, somebody used that language earlier, to your existing contract. So if you then lost that customer, you'd still be stuck paying for it. I think this was one of the things that MSP partners disliked about Kaseya the most, and we made a vow to eliminate that, and that will be gone for the three highest volume products. Oh, by the way, SaaS Alerts has always been CMQ, as you guys all know. We've always been a usage-based product. CMQ, the acronym stands for contracted minimum commitment. So you will contract for a year or 3 years or whatever you want to contract for let's say 500 seats, and you don't go below that, but then you can flex up and down above it. And this, for RMM people, this makes it very easy for them to do demos and trials, to go through lift and shifts when they need a whole bunch of licensing because a big customer just bought all new PCs. For SaaSP, for those users, there's a lot of variability, just like there is in the SaaS Alerts world, of how many people you're covering for backup. Of course, SaaS Alerts, you guys already all are very familiar with taking advantage of using the CMQ process to put your own customers on for basically 28 or 29-day free trials. And if it doesn't work out, you can take them off. You don't get billed for them. You'll have that same flexibility now, starting with those three other products plus SaaS Alerts. Inky will come in the same motion. All Kaseya products will be converted to that by mid 2026. It does take a while to change all the business systems. So I'm sure Jim would bring that up. So any questions there? Questions, comments? Enrique, you should be jumping up and down. You're the guy that always is in my ear about billing systems.
Well, I am jumping up and down. The only one I want to know when it's going to be on the minimum commit, no high watermark, is user.
That
user is going to have value. Extra value, because it had amazing value with SaaS Alerts, but my email was not protected. Now it will.
I want to know where you're putting a 75-inch TV in your car, in your trailer there.
Well,
so
one
Enrique,
of my
I do have
TVs
an
got
answer for your
busted.
question. So users going to make that switch as of the February billing.
Okay, awesome. Because I asked and they said maybe Q2, but they didn't know. Because to me, it's like I want to jump on the user now that it has SaaS Alerts and Inky, but not if I'm going to be tagged with high watermark.
Yeah,
So
well,
yes and
SaaSP
no.
is already part of user. So now you're going to have SaaSP, you can have SaaS
Correct.
Alerts, you'll have Inky.
Correct.
But as of February billing, user will also be going to CMQ.
Awesome. How about endpoint? Just because I'm asking.
I don't know, to be perfectly honest about endpoint. I know that we haven't started working on endpoint yet. This is funny. If I weren't literally one of the people leading the project inside Kaseya to do this, I would never have imagined how complex it is to take a company of this size with this many different partners, products and product SKUs, and actually make a transition like this. But it is really pretty monumental. It's I always like to use aviation examples. This is like going from a 737 to a Max. And there's a lot of system shit that can go wrong. So we can't just snap our fingers and make it happen. But we're pushing it very, very hard and learning as we go. Like these first three products, have made it easy for us to say, okay, well, we're going to attack Inky right out of the gate in January, and we're going to attack K-User shortly thereafter.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll go to Sajid. Just case in point for those, Chip, that were, like as an example, this isn't, by the way, I'm going to be a precursor here. This isn't disparaging. Just like Pax8 said, hey, we're not going to credit card bill anymore. And just transitioning from credit card billing to ACH, because these systems are, the automation, the billing is so massive and complex behind the scenes. There's a lot that can go wrong and does go wrong, and not intentionally. It's just, there's a lot of legacy stuff. And I think, I don't think there's anything ill-intended ever. It's a lot of stuff that so many different use cases, so many different, variables that go into it.
Yep, I agree. It definitely is complex, but we're getting it right. And when we make mistakes, most importantly, our philosophy is to be completely proactive about it, catch a mistake before a customer even knows it, and have a credit or a refund on the way to them before they even see it. So, I've observed that happening because I've gotten very, very close to the billing and BIS systems inside Kaseya since joining there last October, and there's a lot of improvement, and also an unbelievably impressive team. Like the people that are working on that side of it, I cannot believe the kind of effort they put in. and the detail they have. It's really gratifying, actually.
Yeah. Okay, Sajid, you had your hand up. It's down now. Did you have anything?
Yeah, I just had wanted to ask, I don't know if this answer is known yet, but once Inky is offered, for those customers who already have Inky, like, is there going to be a way to kind of just bring those over seamlessly to the Kaseya side? Does anyone know if
Yep.
those details have been kind of sorted out, or?
Oh yeah, 100%. So if you have Inky already, and let's say you've been holding off, like Enrique has, on going to K user because he didn't want Graphis. If you have Inky already, you can actually subscribe to K user right now, immediately, and Inky will be credited in as your product. If you're net new, you're going to wait for Inky until January. Automated provisioning for Inky will be ready January 2nd, effectively. I don't think anyone's doing anything on New Year's Day. And by automated provisioning, I mean the way the Kaseya systems work, very much like SaaS Alerts did when we were standalone. As soon as you complete an order, either through the store or with an AM, that triggers the actual creation of the tenant. Nobody has to sit around and stand up and do that. You just get an email that says, okay, you're ready to go, and log in. And, if you don't have credentials already, create them. And if you do, then just use your regular K1 credentials and off you go.
Chip, just real quick, few questions. One, what about if you're using, Graphis or a competitor? Was there anything mentioned about, hey, this looks a lot better, or this sounds a lot better, I'd like to come that way? Was there any
Yeah,
announcement?
anyone who's using Graphis today, they're going to have the opportunity to begin switching to Inky starting Jan 1, and that will be automated provisioning for Inky. We will have an automated lift and shift tool for Graphis users ready. We're projecting that for April 1st. Then the goal here is literally, I'm a Graphis user. I've got these 100 tenants using Graphis. I want to be able to push a button inside of either Graphis or Inky or both, or the K1 platform, and say, just move everybody over to Inky. And we'll take care of it for you. You push a button Friday night, and Monday morning it's done. And that will not be gnomes working in the background. That will be an automated system to make that transition.
That's not Ben?
It's not Ben. It's not virtual Ben.
Okay. And then Eric Monroe, before we go to Enrique, said, Eric, love to hear the sales value pitch with Inky against how good M365 and Google Apps have gotten with their built-in spam protection.
Yeah. I'll be honest, Andrew, Eric, for a long time, I would talk about this with Jim and the whole notion of third-party mail protection. And I used to be of the opinion that why would anybody need anything beyond what's built in to Microsoft and Google? And I started becoming more convinced that it was necessary, even looking at Graphis, but Inky does some things that go beyond. They have two different AI systems that are really impressive, and I've seen this in action. Their original one was actually a vision-based AI, which is easier to build. Believe it or not, takes less compute, less training from an AI perspective than a text-based one, because it's very, very linear. You can, an AI is very, very good at picking out, pixel by pixel, even a Microsoft logo that the human eye couldn't detect as fake. An AI can do that. But the way you and I, and we talked earlier on the call how we all have such an easy facility around security. Like, we can read an email and detect very subtle clues that most people couldn't. And it wasn't really until the explosion and the advances in LLMs that took place beginning really last fall that you could get to a point where you could train an AI to read an email and pick up subtle clues in the same way a human would. So now they have both of those capabilities. And I would say they exceed what Microsoft or Google are doing on their own. I'm still not convinced it's a value proposition for every single customer out there. I think it depends upon a lot upon your customers' sophistication and how likely you think they are to fall for a phishing campaign, and if you think that your customer is at all likely to fall for it, I mean, I'd suggest it's at least worth looking at it for a trial, for some kind of a temporary run, so you can get your hands on it.
Thanks. That's a great suggestion. That, if they're consistently failing their phishing tests, might be a key indicator that they need additional protections.
Yep. And we are gonna tie Inky directly into Bullfish, so that when people are consistently failing, they'll be, you'll get recommendations like, you really might want to think about taking one of these 2 packages. Inky today has 3 different tiers of service. We're condensing that into 2. We're actually adding some features into the lowest tier. So it's more of a value proposition than the way Inky is constructed today. And I think that, you put all this into K365 user and you got a really, really compelling security stack, literally from device to cloud and everything in between. The entire knowledge worker journey is covered in there at what I think is a unbelievably low price point.
Thanks.
All right.
Enrique.
Okay, so just quickly, you mentioned if we already have customers on Inky, we can roll them into user already?
Yes.
Because I have licenses of user that I just paid to lock in the price since it came out. So, okay, so I'll look into that as well. And
Yeah.
then,
Do you have Inky already? So you have customers on Inky today?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Yeah.
And the value there is we pay more for Inky today, and we negotiated a hell of a price with our bundle than we pay for Kaseya 365 user.
Yep.
But like I was telling Dave from Inky, it's going to be, now I'm getting your product for free.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Though I have to pre-warn you, the billing side won't be transferred into user until January.
Okay. But I could already add them to take advantage of SaaS alerts and backup.
Yes, absolutely.
If I add them to user.
Yep.
Perfect. And going back to the Microsoft thing, every time someone gets a bad email, we test Avanan, we test Inky, we test Graphis, we test Microsoft. There are so many. We had a customer that Rocket Cyber had to isolate a couple of weeks ago because the email came in just with Exchange or Defender for 365. Avanan stopped it. Inky stopped it as well. So it wouldn't have gotten into his mailbox if he was running something different than Microsoft Defender for Exchange or whatever we want to call it. So there is great advantages. Plus the way Inky handles spam and junk mail, and that's a great platform.
Good stuff. All right. We're at the top, Chip.
Okay. I mean, I'll hang for a little more if people have other questions on this big product shift. I'm happy to hang out, but we are at the top.
Yeah, I'm happy to hang as well. Anybody else have questions that?
Thank you, guys.
What's that?
I think that's background noise.
That's just background.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds like we're wrapped.
That's
I
not
have a
someone
question
yelling at
here
Tina.
for you, Chip.
Chip,
What's that?
that's
I have
not
a
someone
question here
yelling
for
at
you.
Tina.
Yep. Fire away.
So you saying that we can integrate Inky right now with K365 user?
If you have
So-
it already.
We do.
Yes.
So how do we have to ask our account manager, I'm assuming?
So do you already have K user?
Yes.
And you're not using Graphis, right?
No.
Yeah. So automatically what's going to happen, Mike, you actually really don't have to do anything. What's going to happen automatically is your Inky billing is going to disappear in January, and
Right.
you're just going to roll up into K365 user. You should let your account manager know that that's what you intend to do. You're going to shift your standalone Inky subscription to K user, and you'll have 2 options there. You'll have standard user, or I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this stuff right now. There'll be a user pro bundle,
Yes.
which will include all of the features in Inky's top tier. If you're familiar, you're familiar with the different tiers.
Yeah, we already.
Yeah, and we
bought
signed
that.
up for that at DattoCon last week. So
Okay.
got us
Oh.
more money time in the money box.
Dave's like, we did.
Oh wait.
Yeah, Dave, you were there.
Oh, I wasn't saying we did, I'm saying we did.
Oh, you're saying, yeah, we did. Like that.
Our sales rep
okay.
liked us that day. We just
So,
went quote for everything. It was such a small uplift that, and we're already convinced how great Inky is because we're already using it. We just put the pro add-on across all K users we have, K365 user we have.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we'll reach out to him then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? All right, now we're into the after party session here, Andrew.
Let's go. Let's keep it going.
We
Your
just hang out
recording
all
is still
day?
going, I think.
Turn off the
See you all in
recording.
2 weeks. Have a good one.
See you again.